I can't believe I just witnessed flight risk. Flight Piss, as I'm going to call it throughout the rest of this video, stars Mark Wahberg, Topher Grace, and Michelle Dockery, and is directed by Mel Gibson. A U.S. Marshal escorts a government witness to trial after he is accused of getting involved with a mob boss, only to discover that the pilot who was transporting them is also a hitman that had been sent to assassinate the informant. After they subdue him, they're forced to fly together after discovering that there are others attempting to eliminate them. I don't even know if this movie has any redeeming qualities to it. Like, I was at least expecting something that could be laughably bad, but it's not even laughably bad. Flight Risk is just bad. Mel Gibson resorts to using AI. He's an AI guy now. What the hell is happening? This is from the director of Braveheart, Apocalypto, and Hacksaw Ridge. And we get this nonsense. And he's supposed to be the one who's saving Hollywood. No. No. The opening scene of the movie, I was literally sat back in my seat. I was like, oh, this is going to be bad. Because that is not CGI. That is AI. Poor CGI artists weren't even hired for CGI in this movie. It was all AI. You could tell the difference. That's the thing. I guarantee you, they tried to hire CGI artists and they're like, no, this movie's gonna suck. I don't want to be here today. Mark Wahberg can be really hit or miss in so many movies. When he's not doing his Mark Wahberg isms, I think that's when Wahlberg is at his best. But when he goes full Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch and he gives you all his Wahlberg isms, that's when he's at his worst. Or when he's playing some guy from like Louisiana who has a Boston accent. That's when he's at his worst. He puts on the stupid Southern accent for his character, and he also has the craziest haircut. He's balding with a receding hairline because he thought that probably made his character so much better. I don't know what was worse, man. Mark Wahlberg's balding, receding hairline in this movie, or Topher Grace's blonde highlights in Spider-Man 3, or were those frosted tips? But it just makes for a really bad Mark Wahberg performance in times where it's just laughable. Topher Grace is clearly given dialogue that he doesn't want to say. It's almost like this movie is a contractual obligation, and Michelle Dockery gives one of the most monotone performances I've seen in a long time. Definitely the worst performance of the year here. All these actors, at least Topher Grace and Michelle Dockery, probably read the script and were like, well, we're under contract to do this. I don't want to be here today. Everybody phoned in their performances to tell Mel Gibson that they clearly don't want to be here today. There's so much illogical nonsense in this movie and so many continuity issues that the performances and the AI are the least of my worries. It's the continuity and the illogical issues, like the stuff that just doesn't really make all that much sense. For instance, early on in the movie, the plane that they're flying hits a bird. There's a bird that splats on the window. Blood splatters on the window. It's a giant puddle of blood. The next shot, the blood is gone. And then in the next shot, there's very minimal amount of blood. There's never a big puddle of blood. They never take the time to use the wipers to wipe the blood off of the windshield of the plane. Nobody noticed that. Nobody said, hey, where's the blood splat in these scenes? I guess the editors were on strike because they didn't want to be here today. In terms of illogical scenes, there's scenes where Mark Wahberg gets out of the cockpit seat, goes into the back of the plane, and autopilot's not even on the plane. What the who's flying the plane? Flying the damn plane. Michelle Dockery's character, if you want to call it a character, doesn't know how to fly the plane. Who's flying the damn plane? Who is flying the plane? Why would you stop piloting a plane before you turn on autopilot? I'm pretty sure it doesn't work like that. But the writer for this movie didn't want to be here today. In another instance, a cabin door is opened mid-air, wind blowing in, pressure is going out of the cabin. Nobody is flung out of the plane. Mark Wahberg is there, sitting there, as if nothing is happening, as still as can be. This is the type of illogical stuff that happens in this movie called Flight Piss. And guess what? Most of this movie has Michelle Dockery's character. Yeah, I'm using air quotes anytime I say characters in this movie because the characters are non-existent. They're not even Swiss cheese characters. They're completely blank. They're a black hole. That's what the characters in this movie are. Don't adjust your monitors. It went black for a reason. She's on the phone. She has the satellite phone. She's on the phone with like ground control trying to land the plane. First of all, there's some mole in the agency that she works for. Of course, because we have to have this subplot taking over a movie where it's 3 people on a plane. You see, this could have been a really interesting premise. This could have been something similar to Con Air, but just taken everything back a little bit. It could have been a really interesting action thriller about 2 people trying to survive a plane ride while there's a psychomaniac trying to kill them in the plane. And it's contained in this plane. The problem is, it doesn't take full advantage of that premise. There are no stakes here because everything else is happening on the outside world and you're hearing about it over this phone call. As I said, there's supposed to be a mole in this organization that Michelle Dockery works for. As generic and cliche and probably stupid of a movie that would have been, where was that movie? I want to see that movie. But the movie doesn't have any stakes, even low stakes. It doesn't have low stakes. There are no stakes there for the movie. Nothing. There is no danger for these characters because you know that somebody on the other side of that phone is a mole that's going to get taken out off screen, or there's this other side plot where Michelle Dockery's flying the plane and somebody's trying to help her land and he's hitting on her mid-flight as he's trying to help her land. I'm like, this dialogue is happening right now. This is some of the most cringy dialogue ever. Oh yeah, and there's a bunch of rape jokes in here. Mark Wahberg just does a bunch of rape jokes. Mel Gibson sinks that low in this movie. As Mark Wahberg say rape jokes, it's just like, I'm going to chop you up into little pieces and then you're going to see what I'm going to do to you, all right? Okay, no, I'm not even, I can't anymore. Flight Piss is a movie that you would find on, I don't even know if a streaming service would pick this up. Flight Piss is awful and belongs in popcorn hell. We done talking about this shit? All right. If you have seen Flight Piss, let me know what you think of it in the comments section below. Leave my link to my website in the description below as well. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I will see you at the movies somewhere.